Number 5. The White Tiger Incident. On September 23, 2014, 20-year-old Maqsood Khan was visiting the Delhi Zoo in India when he approached the enclosure of Vijay, a 13-year-old white tiger. Exactly what happened next has never been confirmed. Some witnesses believed Khan climbed over the safety barrier to get a closer look at the tiger, while others said he simply lost his balance. Either way, within seconds, he fell nearly 18 feet into the enclosure. The fall caught the tiger's attention immediately. Instead of attacking right away, Vijay slowly walked toward Khan and stood only a few feet away, watching him while hundreds of visitors gathered above the enclosure. People shouted for Khan to stay calm and not run. Others began throwing bottles, stones, and sticks at the tiger, hoping to scare it away. Instead, the noise and commotion appeared to make the animal more aggressive. Khan backed away toward a wall, with nowhere left to escape as zoo staff rushed to the scene. Unfortunately, there was no quick way to reach him. Keepers had to unlock emergency gates and prepare to enter the enclosure while trying to distract the tiger from a safe distance. After several tense minutes, Vijay suddenly lunged, knocking Khan to the ground before dragging him deeper into the enclosure. Visitors watched helplessly as staff struggled to intervene. A police officer even fired his weapon, killing the tiger in an attempt to stop the attack. But by the time rescuers reached Khan, he had already died from his injuries. The incident sparked nationwide debate over visitor safety and emergency response procedures. Some blamed Khan for crossing the barrier, while others criticized the zoo's rescue response and questioned whether the enclosure was designed safely enough. The family later reached a private settlement with the zoo, and the viewing platform was redesigned to reduce the risk of a similar tragedy. But as shocking as that attack was, the next incident ended with the death of one of the most famous animals in history. Number 4. The gorilla that had to die. Most zoo tragedies end with a person losing their life. This one ended with the death of one of the world's most famous animals. On May 28, 2016, a 3-year-old boy visited the Cincinnati Zoo with his family. While standing near the Gorilla World exhibit, he managed to squeeze through a barrier, crawl beneath a railing, and fall nearly 15 feet into the enclosure below. The moment he hit the ground, a 17-year-old silverback gorilla named Harambe noticed him and walked over. Weighing more than 400 pounds, Harambe had enough strength to seriously injure the child without even meaning to. At first, he appeared curious, touching the boy and watching him closely. But as hundreds of visitors began screaming, the gorilla became increasingly agitated. He suddenly grabbed the child by the leg and dragged him through the enclosure's moat, pulling him across rocks and shallow water while the terrified boy cried for help. Zoo staff immediately called an emergency response. Some later questioned why they didn't use a tranquilizer, but experts explained that tranquilizer darts can take several minutes to work and could have caused Harambe to panic while still holding the child. With no time to gamble, the zoo's dangerous animal response team made the decision to shoot the gorilla. Harambe died instantly, and the boy was rescued alive with non-life-threatening injuries. The incident sparked worldwide debate over whether the zoo had made the right decision, but officials maintained they had acted to save the child's life. Harambe's death became international news and remains one of the most controversial zoo incidents ever recorded. But as shocking as that story was, the next tragedy involved a man who climbed into a lion enclosure on purpose, leading to another impossible decision. Number 3. The lion enclosure suicide. On May 21, 2016, visitors at Santiago Metropolitan Zoo in Chile watched a young man climb over the barriers surrounding the African lion enclosure. At first, many assumed he was a zoo employee, but they quickly realized something was wrong as he removed his clothes and stood only a few feet away from 2 adult lions. Within moments, the male lion charged, knocking him to the ground before the lioness joined the attack. Hundreds of visitors screamed as the pair mauled him inside the enclosure. Zoo staff rushed to the scene, but there wasn't enough time to safely use tranquilizers. To save the man's life, emergency responders opened fire, killing both lions. The man, later identified as 20-year-old Franco Luis Ferrada Roman, survived the attack and was taken to hospital with severe injuries. Investigators later discovered a handwritten note suggesting he had intentionally entered the enclosure during a mental health crisis. The deaths of the 2 lions sparked outrage across Chile, with many arguing the animals had simply behaved as wild predators would. It was a tragedy that left everyone involved devastated. But the next incident proved that sometimes the danger doesn't stay inside the enclosure. Sometimes it comes looking for you. Number 2. The tiger that escaped its enclosure. Christmas Day, 2007. As San Francisco Zoo prepared to close, 3 friends stopped near the Siberian tiger exhibit before heading home. Earlier that day, witnesses reported they had been shouting at the tiger and throwing objects into the enclosure. Sometime later, the impossible happened. Tatiana, a 350-pound Siberian tiger, somehow cleared the enclosure's wall and escaped. She immediately went after the three young men. 17-year-old Carlos Souza Jr. was attacked first. His two friends ran through the zoo while calling 911, desperately telling operators that a tiger was chasing them. Carlos suffered fatal injuries during the attack, while the other two men managed to hide inside the zoo cafe until police arrived. Officers found Tatiana still roaming the zoo and shot her before she could attack anyone else. Investigators later discovered that the enclosure's walls were lower than recommended for a tiger of her size, allowing the escape to happen. The zoo faced intense criticism and later upgraded its big cat exhibits. It remains one of the few cases where a tiger escaped its enclosure and hunted visitors inside a zoo. But even that wasn't the most terrifying incident on this list, because our final story was captured on CCTV from beginning to end. Number 1. The Safari Park attack caught on camera. On July 23, 2016, a family drove through the tiger section of Battling Wildlife World near Beijing, China. Before entering, every visitor received the same instruction: never leave your vehicle. As their SUV stopped along the road, the woman sitting in the passenger seat suddenly opened her door and stepped outside. Within seconds, a Siberian tiger burst from nearby bushes, grabbed her, and dragged her across the road. The entire attack was captured on surveillance cameras. Seeing her daughter being pulled away, the woman's mother immediately jumped out of the vehicle and ran toward the tiger. Before she could reach them, a second tiger charged from another direction and attacked her instead. The remaining family members could only watch from inside the SUV as both attacks unfolded. Park staff rushed into the enclosure using emergency vehicles and loud sirens to drive the tigers away. The younger woman survived with serious injuries after being rescued, but her mother died at the scene. The CCTV footage spread around the world and became one of the most widely viewed zoo incidents ever recorded. Investigators concluded that the attack happened because the family had left the safety of their vehicle inside an active predator enclosure. It was a heartbreaking reminder that no matter how controlled a zoo or safari park may seem, wild animals are still wild animals. And sometimes a single decision is all it takes for an ordinary day to end in tragedy.